Hi, everyone. And my name is Rebecca Hodgkins. And my question for this week was to explain the different models for understanding grief. The Kubler Ross model is one that we're really familiar with. And then going to explain the models and the current thinking about the grief process. So, with the Kubler Ross model, this is one that we are most familiar with. It has five different stages that an individual goes through the grieving process. The first stage is the denial. This is when the individual is unable to accept the loss or the potential loss of someone that they love. And this was clearly seen in the case study with Mrs. Smith that we just read. We could see that Tammy and Mrs. Smith's family, they were not ready for Miss Smith to leave or to die. They did not want to take Miss Smith off the ventilator. They just were not ready to let her go yet. So we could see that they were clearly in this first stage. In the second stage, individuals became angry. It They see the unfairness of it, of that individual, of losing that individual, and they feel abandoned in this stage. The third stage of this model is the bargaining part of it. This is when the individual begins begging, maybe a higher power that, I'll change if you don't let this person die, or just begging that to let this person live. So that's the third stage. The fourth stage is depression, and that's when the individual actually starts beginning understanding that they're not able to change what's happening. They eventually begin grieving through crying, and some patterns in life, such as eating and sleeping, is dysregulated. So they start to have problems with phases in their life. So, and then finally is the acceptance stage, the fifth stage, and this is when the grief emotions are processed and the individual is able to accept the loss and resume their daily life. So this is the stage we want our clients to eventually get to. Um, However, we know that it's going to take some time, and we just want some normalcy back into their lives. So that's a little bit about the Kubler-Ross model that we're real familiar with. So I did some additional research on some other models, which are very similar. This is the Teresa Rando 6Rs. There's six um, processes or stages in this model. Recognizing the loss, people begin to experience their loss and understand that it has happened. Or actually, it's that people must experience their loss and understand that it has happened. People react emotionally to their loss, recollect and re-experience. People may review memories of their lost relationship, relinquish. People begin to put their loss behind them and realize and accepting that the world has truly changed and that there's no turning back. And then they readjust, and people begin to the process of returning to daily life, and then the loss starts to feel less painful. And then finally, reinvest. People re-enter the world and form new relationships. So it's real similar to the Kubler-Ross model. So that's a couple models there. Another model I'm not going to get into, you can do some research on that as well, is the Hurwitz model of loss adaptation, which we have outcry, denial, and intrusion, working through, and completion. So um, these are just some phases that an individual goes through. We hope they go through each one. It takes the individual some time to go through each stage. and then being able to finally accept what has happened and that they're not able to do anything about it and get back to the normalcy of life. So thank you.